Welcome Knightline Live with your hosts Jerry Middleton and Rick Fletcher. Knightline Live is filmed in front of a studio audience. It's 7 o'clock on a Monday and we're back here finally for Nighttime Live on our regular time. I'm Jerry Middleton and along with me as usual is Rick Fletcher. Rick, it's a beautiful day out.
It's beautiful. It snowed today. The roads were a little slick, but hey, it's winter time. It snowed. That must mean girls sectional are right around the corner.
Absolutely,
Is that true?
that's what it means.
What would girls sectional be without snowstorms happening? So
nice.
Yeah, hopefully,
That's
hopefully that's what's going to happen. But we'll talk about that in a few minutes because we have a lot to say about sectionals, girls, a lot to say about a lot of things. We had a lot going on. We're into tournament season, Jerry, with girls sectional. We had wrestling sectionals. They're on to regionals. We're going to have a special guest, we hope, will be here soon enough. And we'll talk about a lot of wrestling. We got boys basketball going on. Archery's waiting until they, see how they're going to get into the state tournament or whatever that, whatever they call it, shoot. It's a shoot. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But first, we got NFL had their AFC and NFC championship games yesterday.
And the word snow comes into play.
Yeah, snow. It was cold in Kansas City. My goodness gracious.
Cold there and snowing in, Philly, wasn't it?
Well, it was a little windy. I don't think they snowed, but that game, you got to feel sorry for the 49ers. They lose not one but two quarterbacks, and then their original quarterback, he couldn't throw.
Yeah.
And it just, they just couldn't put their team out there.
Yeah.
So Philly, on they go. They're going to the Super Bowl, and Philly fans are famous for booing Santa Claus. So that whole crew's going out to the Super Bowl. And Kansas City playing with a chip on their shoulder because they didn't like what the mayor of Cincinnati said.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what they needed to get them going.
Well, so the Super Bowl is set.
Yeah.
Kansas City and Philadelphia, and that's in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And we'll comment on that.
Down the road.
2 weeks.
I've got no dog in the fight,
No.
so it doesn't matter to me. But I was pulling for the Bengals. A lot of people around here were probably pulling for the Bengals, and they had their shots. They had their chances.
Yeah.
They could have been just as easily going to that, but hey, not to be. So congratulations to those teams. All right, let's get into girls basketball here because it's go time.
Well, now it's lace them up or go home.
Exactly. First, they did have some games last week,
Yes.
and we're going to discuss those. But we have a little tidbit here, okay? Everybody knows what we try to do is we try to interview players, all right? Kids, all right? Coaches and kids, but mostly we like to put kids on there. Sometimes the kids are a little nervous. A lot of times they'll ask, what kind of questions are you going to ask? Or, that type of thing. Well, we have a little routine that we do to try to prepare the kids, and we're going to see that here in a second, courtesy of Cameron McFarland and Addie Kircher's sisters, okay? So let's go to that, Blake, and see how we warm them up.
Okay, Rick. I'm telling you,
that was Mr. and Mrs. Middleton just a few years down the road.
I looked at the disco ball should have dropped, a little ABBA Dancing Queen in the background going on, a little 70s, 80s disco.
Yeah.
But that was cool.
Well, one thing, Addie Kircher, if you are watching, okay, in this little clip here, Addie was kind of being standoffish, like, I don't want to be a part of this. Well, just before the camera went on, she was breaking it down and breaking it down hard, okay? So I think you guys all ought to know that. Addie was making it happen before the camera went on. So And these girls were good eggs. We have a lot of fun with that, and we're going to hear from them. It's the sister
just
act.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. We're going to hear from these ladies. I talked to both of them because they're sisters, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to get the sister act. I call that
the sister act.
All right. So what happened last week? The girls did have a couple games. One, the Winchester game got snowed out on one night and got pushed off to Saturday. They played Lincoln in a game on Friday night. So they went Friday night, Saturday afternoon. Kind of a tough turnaround.
Well,
man.
I mean, it's no different than what the boys normally have to do, except maybe a couple more hours rest. But still, it's that back-to-back, and that happens. But generally, it's not back-to-back conference games. And then on Friday against Lincoln, the Knights pretty much came out and dominated that game from the tip.
Yeah, from the get-go, it was Lincoln's senior night, so they honored our senior players, and they had a lone senior, and the Knights dominated, as expected. Lincoln's struggling this year, and that you go through cycles and everything. Okay,
well, small school, it's a roller coaster.
Yeah,
you got your ups and you got your downs.
Yeah, and they've had some good teams in the past.
Well, absolutely, they have had some good teams.
And so they're going through a rough patch. But the Knights dominated like you thought they would. So that was a conference win. After the game, Jerry, I had a chance to talk with the sister act. Okay, that was Cameron and Addie. That was right after dancing. After I got them all warmed up. So let's go to that video and see what they had to say. All right, we're here at Lincoln High School. The Lady Knights just defeated the Lady Eagles. And I'm here with the sister act tonight, Cameron McFarland and Addie Kircher. Cameron, you guys are at the opposite end. You're a senior and Addie's a freshman. We're almost at the end of your senior year. What are your reflections as you look back?
It's been a fun season. I've gotten to play with Addie a lot, and that's all I wanted for my high school career was play with two of my sisters.
Addie, you got a long way to go, but sections are coming up. What's your excitement level?
A 10.
A 10? Is that all you got to say?
No, I just feel like it's exciting because I get to play with her and I get to play with Ava, Moss, and all the girls I grew up with, playing against them, and in practice at least.
All right, so we're playing Winchester. This is Friday night. We're playing Winchester tomorrow on Saturday. We haven't beaten them in a long time. What's our thought process going into that game?
I think we have a solid chance, but we're just taking it as we can. We're just going to run what we do.
Addie, what are your thoughts?
Win.
All right, simple enough. That's going to wrap it up here. All right, this was Sister Act, Cameron McFarland and Addie Kircher. And so when you guys see this, sectionals will start tomorrow night. Back to you guys in the studio.
Mr. Luby's my favorite teacher.
And we're back to Knightline Live. And Rick, I just have to chuckle because the girls are, interview the boys is one thing and the girls another. The girls have so much more sense of humor.
And they're a lot of fun. I mean, the girls are you're definitely not they're not as they're serious, but in a different way than the guys are. Really, Jerry, when we interview the kids, it's good for them. Gives them a chance to do some public speaking. A lot of the girls or the kids are very nervous. We saw that when we were at the Mike Sells for the drop party. We had a chance to have everybody on, and that went great. It just gives everybody a chance to, become polished, and that's a good thing.
Absolutely
in life,
is.
that's a good thing. It gives you confidence that when you're, applying to go to college and you go to a school or you're going out into the workforce and you have to go on a job interview.
Yep.
Or even if you're in high school and you got to go on a job interview.
Absolutely.
This gives them an opportunity to get these skills, and really it's good for them to be able to do that. Well, plus, we like it, and I think the parents and the grandparents and everybody who watches the show, that's what they want to see.
In most colleges now, you got to have a semester of public speaking.
Yeah.
So
gives
them a little jump start.
Well, and and it does, and we do these things. I don't give them hard questions, but I try to be informative.
Right.
And they have to think on their feet.
Right.
Okay. And their camera's rolling, and sometimes it's live, like it is on our broadcast. And whatever comes out comes out. We've done some dumb things, and we laugh about it later. That's the fun thing about this. Is
yes, we've had a few faux pas.
just a few in there, but overall, it's just a good chance for the kids, the athletes, to just get some good skills and some good polishing above and beyond basketball, whatever else they're doing here.
Well, then the Knights go and play Winchester.
That was a Saturday game.
That was on Saturday afternoon, and I made it back in time to watch the varsity game, and the Knights get beat by 7.
Yeah.
Ava Maxwell gets hurt early in the ball game,
So she doesn't play much.
and she doesn't play very much at all after that, and which was probably wise since you're rolling into the sectional and so forth. So you got to protect those players.
Yeah.
We went up against a very good Winchester team.
Still a good team that has a
good
chance
team.
to go on where they're going.
And
Too.
that's like playing a regional team to a semi-state team that we could see down the road. So
Yeah.
it gives us an opportunity to see where we stand, what we need to do, and what's going to help us in the future.
Yeah, as a young team, Jerry, and I wasn't there for the whole game because we were at wrestling sections, but as a whole, sometimes the Lady Knights will revert a little bit back into the beginning, but not. They're past that, I think, for the most part, and really because they have been playing well. Winchester, I don't know if it's a mental block at this point in time. But I went up to Ava after the game. I said, Ava, and I looked right at her. I said, Ava, next year we're beating Winchester. And she had fire in her eyes. And, that's the kind of player she is. And, they understand, you want to beat Winchester. They're the top of the the pile there, and they have been for so long, and they've been great for so long, and we haven't beaten them in so long. You finally want a chance to beat that king of the road there.
Well, and the Tri-Eastern Conference this year has what I can consider 3 pretty good girls basketball teams. That's Tri-High,
Right.
which in 1A, they
they're
might go a long ways.
Yeah, they got a chance.
And in 2A, you got Winchester, who's got to go to the north,
Yeah.
which they might be able to make some distance also, but that north is pretty tough in some of those.
It is, and they have the they're going to have to play the best of their ability, and
then you have the Knights who go to the south, and and once you get past the sectional, if you get past the sectional, the regional is not an unwinnable game.
Yeah, it'll be a tough matchup.
It'll be tough.
But it'll be tough for the other team, too.
It'll be tough for the other team, too. And then if you get by that, then the semi-state, now you're just talking...
Hey, you go as far as you
can.
You go as far as you can. You don't worry about winning or losing.
Nope.
You just get there, and when you get to that semi-state, you play. You get to the regional, you play. Just like we saw in volleyball, Jerry.
Absolutely.
Okay? We saw a team inexperienced in tournament play, hadn't had any success, and they went to that regional, and they did not shrink from it. They got beat by Cecina, all right, but it wasn't that easy of a match for Cecina.
No, it was not an easy match for Cecina.
And what I see is, and we're going back to volleyball, and it relates to basketball because we're looking for that sectional title here. I see some similarities there in the fact that playing better as you go into the tournament.
Yes.
The volleyball was playing better as they were heading into the tournament. And when they got there, got to the regional, did not shrink.
Nope.
Did not shrink from
I
that.
agree.
They took that challenge on head on. They lost in the championship, but I think they gained a lot by losing, by being there.
Absolutely.
And so for the Lady Knights, I don't want to see any post about how you're favored. Get rid of that, okay? We are the underdogs, and it's up to the Lady Knights to prove them all wrong. That's how I feel about that stuff. We are not the favorite. We are the underdog. Just go to last year when we lost to Union County in the final in a game that we all thought we were going to win. And we're going home and they're going on to the regional. That's the mindset you have to have when you go into this section.
Well, it's just like this. Watch Hoosiers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And see who won that game. It was not the big powerhouse, Muncie Central. It was little old Milan, and they win it.
Yeah, and we all understand, where the Knights, are right now. But your mentality is you do not look at any press clippings, Facebook or Twitter posts, who's telling you how good you are. No, you don't look at that. You go out and be the best that you can. There's a sectional title on the line. Yep. You have a chance to win that. First time in a long time. You should not let anything deter you from doing that.
Absolutely.
So I'm off my soapbox now, okay? We're going to be broadcasting all those games, by the way. We'll be there tomorrow night at Hagerstown. That game's at 7 o'clock.
Yep.
And if you win that, then you go to Friday. Those games start at 6 o'clock. Which game does the Knights have? The first or the second game? If they
I think it's
tomorrow?
The second game of the night.
All right, but anyways, the first game's at 6 o'clock, and the second one will follow after that. And then, no matter what, we're heading to the championship game.
Yeah.
So we're all going to be there. Be to Hagerstown. Everybody get in the gym. Fill the place. These girls are good, and they deserve your support. So what do we always say about the broadcast, Jerry?
Go to the game, then watch the replay when you get home.
That's what they're for. They're for the replay. You go to the game live, and you get in there, and you be loud, and you support them, and you cheer them. And you watch Jerry and I, or it's going to be whoever's on the broadcast. Doesn't matter.
You and me will be on Tuesday night. We might probably have a couple boom babies in there. And then on Friday and Saturday, it'd be you and football coach Wes Oller.
Yeah, so we're all looking forward to that. I love this time of year. Sectionals going on. We're going to talk wrestling here. We had a wrestling sectional too.
Wrestling?
Yeah, and that was fantastic.
Yes.
But we're going to talk a lot about that. Jerry, I got to get my voice back. We need a break.
All right. You're watching Knightline Live.
13,000 feet has a way of testing a man's soul. After all, you were never meant to take on such an endeavor. That long drop is what separates human from superhuman. That fear is the only enemy, the only thing keeping you from feeling that power in your bones. And here we are, right here, right now. Let's fly.
You're good at motivation, we're good at your insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
KOA exit 151A, registration in the general store. It's a family-owned campground with pull-through parking for RVs or travel trailers with full hookups. Rent a cabin. Relax at one of the fire pits or picnic by the pond. A playground for the kids, or get in around the golf before dinner. Take a water-soaking hayride, lay out by the pool, and then take a dip. At Kate's Family Eye Care, we value a family-friendly atmosphere, offering high-quality eye exams. Our expert staff utilizes the latest techniques in eye care. We have a large selection of affordable glasses that are unique to our area. We are proud supporters of the Northeastern Knights and wish all the teams the best of luck.
Go Knights!
Coming together every day to make a difference for you, for me, and everyone in between. Because at Dot Foods, when we celebrate each other's differences and work together to make the community a better place, we become great together. At Dot Foods, what matters to you matters to us, where communities matter. Dot Foods.
Dreaming of having more space? With a mortgage from First Financial, you're golden. We keep things simple with friendly, personalized service from application to closing. We'll help you find the right mortgage loan to fit your unique needs. Plus, you can qualify for relationship pricing with an eligible checking account. And since we live in the communities we serve, you can count on our local knowledge to make sure the pieces fall into place for an on-time closing. So stop dreaming and start moving with First Financial Bank.
Welcome back to Knightline Live, and right now we're going to talk some wrestling. And joining us is Corey Breaker, the head wrestling coach here at Northeastern, and also a Farm Bureau insurance agent.
Yes, we see his name on our commercials sometimes.
Well, down in the corner during the live broadcast. I watched it all day just for that.
A proud sponsor of Knight's Broadcasting and Two Old Guys Productions, and Steve. But no, thanks for joining us tonight, Corey.
Thanks for having me.
And what a great weekend it was. A great Saturday.
It was a good weekend.
It was a great day for the Knights.
Yep, three sectional champs. I've been at it 8 years. It feels like 50, but I think 3 is the most we've had in my 8 years. So.
All right, we're gonna talk about everybody who qualified for regionals, Corey, and I'm gonna ask you about one guy who did not.
Okay. Okay.
And you know who
I think I might know where this is going.
You know where this is going, and I don't want to denigrate anybody or referees or anything, but we'll get into that here in a minute. Let's talk about the champions first, and I'm going to start with the heaviest guy. Okay. We'll start with Michael Henderson.
Yes.
He is something in zero. I don't know. It's 38 or 39 at this point. It's quite a few in zero.
I want to say it's 34. I looked earlier today, but it's an even number in the 30s and zero.
Yeah,
yes.
so tell us about Michael Henderson and the season that he's had, and he's going on as a champion, as a number 1 seed in the tournament next week. So give us what you got about Michael.
Oh, actually, I'll take you back a bit further. Michael started wrestling for us in the 8th grade. We could tell there was raw talent, but had no wrestling knowledge whatsoever. And I actually had another coach approach me the other day and say, Michael Henderson might be the most improved wrestler I've ever seen, just because they've seen him from point A. So this isn't point Z, obviously. Yeah. There's still going to be a lot left of this book. But Michael is just so coachable, got great instincts, and he's got this great drive to win. And obviously it shows this year, and even in last year. But Michael, as a freshman, was a regional qualifier, just kind of one of those fourth place, I think, maybe. And I told him, I said, man, you are such a better wrestler than these other guys. Well, I don't know, coach. I don't know. And then when he figured it out, now he goes out there and he knows.
Yeah. No, I mean, you go undefeated. I mean,
our expert crack staff, Mr. Blake Hampton, comes in at 34-0.
34-0, okay.
Is on it. I'll tell you ask a question, Blake has the answer. Boom.
Well, that's why he's in the position that he's in right now.
That's right.
And he wrestled a guy from Centerville that he's known. They've been at it before.
Yeah.
And he was no slouch, really. He was like 34-4 or something.
I think Nathan Westover, Nugget as we call him, has
Yeah.
2 losses on the season.
Yeah. I mean, he came in with a good record.
They've probably wrestled each other 8 times in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And he had Michael's number for a while there. And I don't want to say Michael has his number. It was a close match, as you saw.
Very
it was
close
a great
match. Very close match.
But we've been able to come out on top the last few times, and thankful for that.
Yeah. With wrestling, a lot of technical things going on. It's just not brute strength, and that's what people have to understand about wrestling. And I learned a lot listening to Keegan on the broadcast and just him explaining everything. A lot of technical things that go on. It's not just throw your opponent around and pin them. I mean, a lot of these matches don't end in a pin; they end in points.
Correct. When you get in those later rounds, there's a lot thinner margins separating the wrestlers, so the pins don't always happen so quickly there.
See what I'm thinking is we put wrestling scoring into basketball. Takedowns are worth 2. Reverse layups
with
worth
no
2.
fouls
With
called.
no
There's a Russian basketball league that has some of those elements
Really?
in it. Yeah, you'll have to look that up. It's pretty interesting.
All right. Let's go down in weight class. I believe 152. I think that was Ethan Neely.
Yes, Ethan.
Ethan had an interesting match. It was a close match.
Yeah.
So talk about Ethan and where he's an excitable guy, by the way.
Yes.
Okay, very excitable.
Ethan's fun to coach.
Yeah.
I've coached Ethan since he was in middle school. He came here from Richmond, and Ethan, as a freshman, had some moderate success, but was super talented. You could tell right away.
Yeah.
Had some learning to do. As a sophomore, had a great season. Got quarantined for COVID the week before conference, so had missed the whole state series. And then last year, at the end of football season, he ruptured a tendon in his hand and missed all of last wrestling season. So this is Ethan's, actually, for as talented as he is, his first regional qualification, and he did it as a champion.
Okay.
Obviously something we knew he was capable of.
Right.
Well, Ethan's very excitable, high energy, as you can tell, all the time.
Well, I saw him out at Chipotle after the sectional.
Refueling,
They
obviously.
were out there eating, and I walked up to him and said, "Hey, congratulations." I said, "Great redemption, huh?" He goes, "Absolutely.
Yep.
Great redemption from the TEC, and then here you come in as sectional champion. Wonderful."
He like Rick had said, he got himself in a tough spot because Ethan is a little unorthodox in his wrestling
and
style.
we're going to show a video. You're going to see that
Yeah.
here, and you'll see Keegan when he was commentating on that. He'll point that out. So we're going to see that after we talk to you. But go ahead. But he was able to work his way out of it and pin the guy.
Yeah, Ethan, he because of his style, sometimes gets in some tough spots, but no one's better than him at getting out of them. Unfortunately, 1% to 2% of the time, it's just not going to happen. So when I saw that position happen, my mind went, "Oh crap!" And then I went, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
I knew he was going to do it.
Good job. That's a great.
I taught him that.
Yeah, you taught him that.
So that was Ethan Neely. He was champion at 152, right?
Correct.
Didn't he wrestle at 160 also, or was he always 150?
At the county series, I bumped him up to 160 just for those matchups against Centerville. It kind of worked out that way. That's what got us that win.
Okay.
Ethan bumping up and taking down a heavier wrestler.
Okay, all right. But he's normally at 152.
152 is his weight class, correct?
All right. So let's talk about another one of your sectional repeat champion. And she's well known. That's Heather Kroll at 106.
Not familiar with her.
Yeah, what can we? You might want to become familiar with her. Okay, she might take you to state again this year, Corey. So tell us about what more can we say about Heather? Really, technical wrestler. She's probably one of the finest technical wrestlers. I don't know a lot about wrestling, but as I was watching. And I thought Newcastle had a lot of good technical wrestlers.
Oh, very much so.
Okay,
Newcastle's very talented.
But Heather is as fine a technical wrestler as there is that I've seen in my very short history with wrestling. So you tell me.
Well, no, Heather is extremely technical, and what sets her apart than a lot of wrestlers is she has a high wrestling IQ. She recognizes situations and where she needs to be for things to happen and to put herself in good spots. So that's what Heather is extremely strong for a 108-pound girl. Yes, but there's a lot of these boys that are a lot stronger than her. But she's such a technical wrestler and stays in good positions. That's what's led to her success.
Well, you get good position, leverage.
Yep.
You can overcome strength at 106 on there. I saw one of the other wrestlers from one of the other schools, and I said, "Well, what do you think about Heather Kroll?" And he goes, "Dude, she's scary now." The wrestler.
She's a real
just
deal.
look into her eyes before a match, and you're like, "Well, this ain't gonna end well."
Correct me if I'm wrong, because you're a lot more involved and close to it than I am, Corey. But she looks like she's gotten better from last year.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is that at the end of last year, I would have thought it was hard to. She's obviously, there was places that she could improve. She lost a match in the state tournament pretty handedly, but I thought she was as good as any wrestler I'd ever coached, and she was, obviously.
Yeah.
But then I look at this year and just recognizing positions and finding different ways out of and into different things. Definitely been a marked improvement where I didn't know there was that much margin to improve.
Yeah, I mean, I'm limited knowledge in wrestling, but I saw her last year, and looking at her this year, I think she's up their game even some more.
Yeah.
So,
and she's always ready to learn. That's the thing, is that even at this late point in the season, when we recognize a spot, Todd and I will try to find solutions, and she's ready to drill it and hit it and figure it out, and usually uses it.
Yeah,
Well,
I would like to put a plug in if I can.
Okay.
Because Todd and his wife, they're trying to raise money for Heather to go.
Yes, thank you.
Do all these wrestling tournaments wherever they're going. They're going a long ways.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you get a chance, you can make a donation, or they're selling hamburgers, or they're doing something. I don't know what exactly, but throw in some money. $25 to $50 goes a long way. I know for $50 they're selling hamburgers.
Yeah, some very high-end ribeye burgers that a friend of ours makes. So.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're still doing that or if that's going on for a while, but you can talk to Corey, I'm assuming, or talk to Todd, or call the school or get a hold of the athletic director. Jerry knows about it now. So it's a worthy cause, and she's got some talent, and we'd love to be a very small part of contributing to that so she can go forward. So let me ask you about the 3 champions. Have you've had a chance to look at the brackets for the regional?
Yep.
All right, now I noticed the one thing I want to bring up on Heather's bracket, at the bottom of the bracket, there's a 44-0 in there somewhere. So what do you know about that?
So there's a Mylan wrestler. His name escapes me at the moment, but he's I want to say 34-0, but he's undefeated. He's an undefeated wrestler. Obviously had
something in 0. I knew that.
Talented wrestler. We've watched a little bit of what we can find video-wise on him, and he's got some skill. It'll definitely be a match, but something we're preparing for.
Yeah. And you guys watch film? Do you try to, do you get off the other broadcasts where these guys might be, or everybody has film?
Off-season tournaments they've gone to that Flow Wrestling or things have filmed at. There's a lot of these kids who are this talented go to a lot of these tournaments, and a lot of them are broadcast. There's ways to find film, but you always have to take it with a grain of salt too. That film is probably 6 to 8 months old. And I know how much my wrestlers improve in short time frames. So, but just enough to get a feel for how they like to wrestle.
Okay.
Another thing coming from Mylan down there. I'm sure they've gone up against Lawrenceburg, which traditionally is pretty good. East Central, pretty good. Greensburg, pretty good. Batesville, pretty good. South Dearborn, So the guy, if he's 34-0, he's legit.
Yeah.
Their sectional is a very tough sectional. I mean, our sectional is, I don't want to say it's an easy sectional, but it's been lighter these last few years, and the lower weights too.
Right.
That you had to put work in to come through the South Dearborn sectional.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the other qualifiers. The kid I want to talk about is Steinberger. I saw him win the match that got him into the 3rd and 4th. That meant he knew he was going to the regional that time. The excitement on that kid's face, just winning that match right there to go into that match that sent him to the regionals. Talk about Thane a little bit.
So Thane last year, and it's kind of a similar year even. Last year he qualified for regionals as well, but it had an up and down season because Thane is definitely one that improves match over match, but sometimes it doesn't go his way. Sometimes he gets bumped out because of things I move with Ethan Neely and things like that. Gets him put in tough spots. So Thane probably was 20-15 going into sectionals. Absolutely respectable record, but not someone who was a favorite to win or even be in the spot he was. And so Thane did the things we worked on in practice last week, definitely showed in that match and the one before it, the Knightstown match, where he put himself in that spot. So he was very excited about it. Thane doesn't show a whole lot of emotion. I always kind of get on him because I'm if you haven't noticed, kind of a loud and charismatic guy.
I noticed Todd Kroll is kind of reserved, but boy, you get him in a match, boy, he lets it go. So.
It was nice to see out of Thane. Obviously, I was very happy to see him move on, but happy to see him how excited he was.
And I think he's 160. Is that what is
correct? He is 160.
160. Okay. Next, you have at 195, Caleb Cohey qualified, just a sophomore. So tell us a little about Caleb.
Caleb obviously was a conference champ the week before.
Right.
At 195, the 195 from Knightstown wasn't able to make it to conference, so there was a little bit of where the seeds got mixed up based on that. So Caleb ended up having to wrestle the reigning sectional champ, not right off the bat, but in that semifinal round. That Newcastle kid is very tough. Won sectionals last year, and really nobody gave him much of a match this last Saturday. So that was a tough spot to put Caleb into, but kept his head, knew what he needed to do to bounce back, and took care of business in his 3rd and 4th match. I'm sure you saw.
He definitely
Caleb
did.
is Caleb's been in our program forever, but he just decided about 8th grade that this was going to be it for him, and he turned it on. He's really lean, muscular kid now, and he's one of the hardest workers in the room.
Yeah. All right. So he's only a sophomore. Absolutely. Plenty of room to work and improve and do better.
Yep.
All right. One more. Lucas Shamness. Also, and what weight class is he?
113.
113. Okay. So tell us about Lucas and the prospects of these guys who weren't champions, but what are the prospects of all of the wrestlers moving on to the next round?
Lucas
Or
is
the next to Newcastle.
a freshman, obviously, and at 113 pounds, that means that he gets the tall task of wrestling with Heather every single day.
Okay.
And he met that with as a challenge at the beginning of the season, and he's been phenomenal about it because Heather expects to wrestle a certain pace, Todd expects a certain pace out of Heather, and Lucas matches it.
Okay.
So you can tell from the beginning of the season, Lucas had been put in some tough spots, having to bump around and move into different weight classes, and took a lot of losses early on, but we could just tell he'd been on this trajectory upward. And there was a match 2 weeks ago at our Tri-Invitational, very last round, he was wrestling the J County, and J County has a very great program.
Oh, that's another good
Wrestling
program.
a J County varsity wrestler and beat him in overtime, and I just knew right then that things were clicking with Lucas. He came into conference, he was, this close to getting the third place at conference over the kid who was now the just won sectionals.
Okay.
And so we thought it might be our moment there in that championship.
Yeah.
And just the way that Centerville prepared well, they came out with some good spots. We got caught in a couple of bad positions, and so Lucas finished second, but obviously from where Lucas started at the beginning of this year, I couldn't be more proud to have him at second place.
And he's only a freshman. Again.
Absolutely.
He's got a long way to go. And I'm just been focusing on the improvement Heather made. All these guys are improving from year to year, match to match. And they're better at the end of the year than they are at the beginning of the year.
That's the goal.
All right, there's one more night I want to talk about that didn't make it, and that would be Mr. Zane Snyder. He had a match where I guess I'm a rookie. I don't know a lot about wrestling, but I thought I was watching that match by the mat, and I thought he had him pinned, but apparently not. What do we say, Corey, without getting thrown out of here?
we talk a lot about don't let the officials be the deciding factor.
Yeah.
But that does get tough in wrestling when the match should have been over.
Yeah.
it's not like there's a point in a basketball game where they probably should have stopped it and they called one team the winner. That
Right.
does happen in wrestling. So we felt like, and when I say we, I mean probably every person in that gym that wasn't wearing blue and gold felt like that match was over. The official, for some reason, who is historically a very good and consistent official, did not see it that way.
Sometimes that happens.
Yeah, and then Zane had been dealing with a little bit of some neck stiffness going into that, and I think that after all that torque, it probably just kind of caught up to him too.
Yeah.
Because you also saw then in the next match, which was against the Tri-Kid, he just beat. A bad spot came in, and the official did call a pin in that situation,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
fortunately it wasn't in our favor. It was Zane's a sophomore.
Yeah, so
Zane
he'll
obviously
be back. He'll be
reigning
back.
conference champ now. So there's plenty of room for bounce back. It's just very disappointing for someone that he thought I knew that he'd probably be at semi-state here in another week and 2 weeks. But it's just something we're going to have to brush off, move on. He is an alternate that rarely comes into play, but if someone were to miss weight or get injured this week from our sectional at 182, Zane would find himself back in the
All
mix.
right.
The fifth place finisher does get
Let's
that
feed
opportunity.
him hamburgers and McDonald's and
Yeah.
French fries. Just
I thought
whoever
about
that
stopping
kid
by
is.
a couple other practices and just seeing what their dietitians were doing, but it's unfortunate for Zane. That's the reason we're here, is for the wrestlers and the opportunities they should get. It's unfortunate it happened that way, but it's something we have to just learn, live with, and move on.
The one thing about sports, sports teaches us life.
This is coming from a guy who's missed plenty of calls in his life too.
Last call I missed was
You think Jerry's been booed before?
last call I missed was
I
1978.
boo him as athletic.
And then I thought I was wrong, but actually I was right. So, but I mean, it teaches life lessons. Sometimes everything is just not fair.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is it's like, and I don't want to get into this, but people have got to realize that things happen, and
It's life.
And it's life. Is at a certain school locally to us, in a third grade basketball game, a parent gets thrown out for dropping F-bombs to the ref. And leaving the gym, he's still screaming F-bombs at the parents of the other teams for
Not good
that's
behavior.
unacceptable. Unacceptable actions.
All right,
So there I'm off my soapbox.
No,
now.
I agree.
Corey, we could go on for
We
another.
could.
We
We
got
could.
other things we got,
Yeah.
but I do want you to touch a minute on regionals. What are our prospects for some of these wrestlers to move on to semi-state?
Oh, I mean, So regionals is one of the most fun days of the year. It's at Richmond, which of course the Tiernan Center is a
Beautiful
great facility
facility.
for it.
Yeah.
And the way they've got it set up with all the spectators up top, standing around the railings all day, and all the wrestlers down on the gym floor. Regionals though is 8 wrestlers, 4 from the South Dearborn sectional, 4 from our sectional in each weight class. So if the first round you win, you're going to be moving on to semi-state. It's just a matter of where. So if you don't win the first round, your day's going to be done.
After the first round, it's seeding.
Yeah, after that, you're figuring out who's going to be first, second, third, or fourth.
Gotcha. Yep.
So, one win. I've taken guys there who have been 4 seeds, like Thaneberger's a 4 seed right now. I've taken 4 seeds who pinned a 1 seed and moved on to semi-state. It's anything can happen. It's like March Madness.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we'll look forward to that. There's a potential. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but let me let the cat out of the bag. We potentially could be live streaming that event.
Yeah.
We'll find out more tomorrow. Okay, and we'll firm that up. So stay tuned to Northeastern Livestream on Facebook. That's where we'll post it.
We're looking for who the mole might be, letting secrets out. We
That
haven't
would
found
be-
them
Can't
yet,
find him, man.
but we're still looking.
Can I be mic'd up for that? I don't know if we could.
Oh, that would be great.
Oh, no, it wouldn't.
We would love to have
It would be
that.
bad.
Dump button.
All right. Well, hey, we could go on forever and
absolutely.
ever. I'm telling you, we'll have to do this again, but we'll be looking forward to you guys. That's at Richmond. Starts at 9 o'clock.
Correct.
On Saturday morning. It's a lot of fun, a great facility. Richmond will put on a good show, I'm sure. They'll do absolutely wonderful job over there. So before we go to commercials, we do have a pretty lengthy video on what it is. It's all probably a minute to a minute and a half of each of the championship matches right up to the final raising of the hand, I call it, declaring victory. So we'll go to that. Then we'll go to commercials, and when we come back, we'll talk boys basketball.
Well, Corey Baker.
Oh,
Thanks.
I-
Oh,
I-
I've been eyeing this free sandwich ticket over here, thinking
Yeah.
I needed a spicy
Now-
Italian from Subway tomorrow.
Now look, Hagerstown and Richmond, that's where you can do this. Don't show them that because it expired December 31st,
Oh,
all right?
man.
But if you're nice to them, I'll bet you they'll honor that thing. So thanks for coming, Corey. Hey, good luck this weekend.
Thank you so much.
We
Thanks for the
appreciate it.
broadcast,
Thanks
guys.
for coming
Yeah,
in, man.
we'll see if we see you this weekend, but we'll be there somehow, some way.
All
okay?
right.
All right, so we'll go to those videos and then to commercials. This is Knightline. We'll be back.
Third period takes neutral. Back to the center. Heather's got an 11-1 lead and continues to work to score. Looking for a tech fall or a pin here. Gardner shoots in on Kroll. Sprawl. She controls the match. Reaching back for an ankle. Looking to score 2 here. Gardner stays up. Heather with an arm bar scores 2 points. Takes a 13-1 lead. A minute 30 remaining. Gardner working from bottom, doing a fantastic job here. Heather just not giving him any room to breathe, continuously working on her offense. Not taking anything away here from Gardner, but just Heather's controlling this match, just absolutely putting a clinic on here for everybody here at Centerville High School today. No back points counted there. The match looked really good. Going back to the arm bar on the right side. Gardner's able to get his hands free, working up to the neutral position. Heather breaks him down again, looking to pull that tilt from underneath. Mat number 2, Eli McCoy from Centerville, leads 18-3 with a technical superiority with 15 seconds left in the third period. Puts another win on the board for Centerville, and he will be your 3rd seed next week at your Richmond Regional from the Centerville sectional. Heather Kroll here moves Isaiah Gardner to his back, counting back points. The way this match ends up here, she either pins him or tech fall. Heather looking for a pin here. They call him out of bounds, 3 back points, and that will be technical superiority win for Heather Kroll of Northeastern, winning her 2nd sectional championship in her 2nd year. Looking to make a return. Going back to mat 1 here. Neely continues to control the match, leading 6-4. With a minute and 20 seconds remaining in the 2nd period. Wrestling on the edge of the mat here. Neely's looking for a wrist. Belcher's really looking to move up to a tripod position. Neely locks up a cradle. Belcher's in trouble here if he can get control. Belcher breaks the lock. Neely goes back to work on the wrist. Continues with wrist control, locks in an arm bar. Looking for a turn here, and he does make a turn, but out of bounds, no points. Score still in favor of Northeastern, 6-4 with 53 seconds remaining in the second period. Over on mat number 2, Aiden Holscher of Centerville, trailing 5-3 to Gary Paul of Tri. Gary Paul of Tri with the escape to go up 6-3. Neely from Northeastern makes a mistake. Michael Belcher looks to capitalize on the reversal. Neely going back to his butt stays in control. Now he gains back points. Wow, what a turnaround there. Belcher to his back. Neely looking for the pin, and he secures the fall for 16 points in a sectional championship. We're going to switch action over here to Matt. A minute and 10 seconds remain in the third period of this 220 championship match. Nathan Westover looks for a leg, can't in. Collar tie here by Henderson. Both the score here. Back into the collar tie position with an overtie here. Both have control of the elbow. Neither player making any big offensive moves. Nathan Westover drops to his knees. Henderson has front headlock control. Nathan Westover is looking to make a move out of this position here. Stops it. The back to his feet. And really avoids giving up the takedown there. Henderson on the edge of the mat. Still leads 2-0 with 28 seconds remaining. Both working the edge of the mat. Nathan Westover goes to his back with only 20 seconds remaining to take down. And this will probably seal the match here as Henderson takes a 4-0 lead with 18 seconds remaining. Nathan Westover will need a reversal and 2 back points to tie it, 3 back points to win the match. And I'm just afraid there's not enough time left remaining for that to happen. Time expires here with only 4 seconds remaining. Michael Henderson, Northeastern, will be your 220-pound champion, defeating Nathan Westover of Centerville 4-0. Brings us down to the heavyweight match.
It's now time to announce our 195.
Do you need assistance and you don't know where to turn? We can help. From fixing meals, medicine reminders, personal hygiene, rides to appointments, someone to talk to, and much more. Guardian at Home Servicing, all of Wayne County. All you really want is for your loved ones to enjoy life. Harmon sheds are custom built to your specifications and needs. But wait, there's more! Harmon sheds build privacy fences, decks for your pool, beautifully designed decks for all around your home, and detached pavilions. Let Joe and the crew do all the work, so all you need to do is relax.
This is Rick Fletcher. When my car needs repair, I take it to 715 Simharjan Parkway in Richmond, home of Knuckle Busters. With their ASE certified technicians, why would you go anyplace else? They repair domestic and imports, air conditioners to Z-bars. Knuckle Busters Auto Repair. Call 765-488-1470 and tell them to go Knights!
Welcome back to Knightline Live, and Rick, that was some great video, great commentary on the wrestling. That's good.
Listen, Jerry, I want to say I don't brag much, okay, but I want to take the opportunity to brag about our team we had there on Saturday. Fabulous team that we had. Keegan Frazier did a fantastic job. I mean, you go listen to that. That's expert commentary right there. And he did that the whole 6 hours. We were there for 6 hours.
That's Big Ten Network stuff.
Yeah, he did a great job. Josh Fern was there for most of the day. He had to leave early, but he did a good job hosting. Our camera people, Kayla, our normal camera people, Jacob Chastain and Kayla Kersey, excellent job. They were there on time. Everything was great. Thank you to Shane Osteen, the athletic director. Very accommodating. We appreciate all that you guys did. This was our first time trying to do that. We didn't know what we were doing. We were learning on the fly. And I'll tell you what, the team we put together for the broadcast did a fabulous job.
Absolutely. I watched a little bit of it. It was great.
Yeah.
As Rick has always say, flying by the seat of our pants.
And we were flying, okay? But we learned some things. We'll see what's going on this Saturday if we can get that done. But anyway, so we get some boys basketball.
Oh, yeah.
And winning is the name of the game, right?
Well,
you play to win.
Well, you play to win. You go to Lincoln and win.
And they win handily. And then they go to Randolph Southern. Now, Randolph Southern's a 500 team. They've had some success against some teams, kind of not against, and they got some good players on that team.
And Southern is that 5 to 6 player team.
Yes.
That they have. And, you know, Brent's style is, I want to play 10 against you.
Yeah.
I want to wear you down. And in the fourth quarter, you'll have no legs left, and then we turn it on.
Yeah. So
which is what happened.
It was a tough game, Jerry.
Yeah.
Up by 2 at half, up by 2 at the end of 3 quarters. Probably nobody in the whole gym expected that, but the crowd at Randolph Southern was going absolutely crazy. They were doing a great job. We were a little off on our shooting, which sometimes we are. Slow start in the first quarter. Some common themes that we have.
Yep.
Okay, but you know, turned it on. We were able to turn it on in the fourth quarter. So we, you know, got that done, winning by 17. But for a lot of that ball game, it was very close, especially in the first 3 quarters. Michael Henry, I think he had 5 3-pointers.
That's good. I mean, and that's where the Knights have been lacking. Here, and I don't want to say at the beginning of the season, really the whole season.
Yeah,
that 3-point shot has been consistently has not been there.
Yeah. So Michael Henry had 5. There were at least 4 nights in double-figure scoring. Okay, good balanced scoring. We've seen that a lot from this team. This team capably can put. You got Grant Luby, Caleb Harmon can do it. Carson Terrell, you know, Keaton Mikesell. Then you saw Day Lundy's coming on. He was actually in the starting lineup, so whether he's starting or off the bench, he can score. A lot of options, okay? And the team really is coming together as a team. And I've said this all year long, Jerry. If they're going to win and go where they want to go, it's going to be as a team.
Yes.
It's not going to be as an individual taking you there. It's going to be the whole team coming together. Can they do it? Yes, I believe they can. But it's going to take running on all cylinders as a team.
Yep.
So, anyways, their sectional draws coming up in probably 3 weeks, so that we'll have more to say about that down the road. After the game, before the Randolph Southern game, one of the basketball players, Carson Terrell, he made a football commitment and to University of Indianapolis,
which is a Division II associated with the Great Lakes Valley Conference. Great
D2. Yeah. I mean, that's good talent right there.
The difference between D2 and D1 is 1.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is. I mean, my son played at Quincy, which is in GLVC in baseball, and that's what it is. It's just there's not a lot of difference.
No. And a lot of those kids that go to these schools could go play in the Big Ten for a school. I mean, they're that talented. Maybe they lack a little size or something, but you know, they got the talent. So that's going to be a very good talent level for Carson, and we saw what he can do. All right, we know what Carson can do
And
here.
it's a nice facility too. They got nice facility at U of I.
Yeah, they're going to have a lot of upgrades. He's going to see a lot of upgrades from Northeastern when he goes there.
Yeah.
So I had a chance to talk with Carson about that and a little bit about basketball in the future. So let's go to that interview with Carson, see what he has to say. I'm here. All right, we're here at Randolph Southern before the boys varsity basketball game against the Rebels, and I'm here with Carson Terrell. Carson, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, this is basketball season, but we're talking football with big news that it's been all over the place. So tell us where you're going to school.
I'm going to University of Indianapolis to play football yet.
All right, man. So what are you going to study?
General engineering and then probably minor in business something.
Well, engineering degree and business, and you're going to play full-time football. All right. So step up. That's a Division II school. So what are your thoughts about the talent level that you're going to see playing these guys?
I mean, yeah, it's going to be a big difference because you're going to be with everybody who wants to compete, and I'm going to have to earn my spot, and hopefully I can do it this year or the years ahead of me. So.
Yeah. So we also heard that your buddy Noah Ammerman had a visit there. How great would that be if you guys went in there together?
Oh my gosh, that'd be awesome. I mean, dynamic duo back together. I mean,
another 4 years would be awesome. We saw a lot of you guys Friday nights here the last couple of years, so that'd be great seeing that. All right, let's talk a little bit of basketball. We're getting down to sectional time. What are your thoughts about our season going forward?
I'm excited. I mean, we're doing well as a team, and we're competing well with each other and other teams. So I mean, putting work in.
All right. Well, good luck. Good luck the rest of the season, Carson, and good luck in the fall. We'll be looking to hearing great things about you, and if Noah happens to go with you, it'll be great too. All right. That was Carson Terrell. He's going to the University of Indianapolis, not too far away. So if you get a chance, Saturday afternoon, there's nothing like it. You guys can go watch him. Back to you guys in the studio.
Welcome back to Knightline Live, and again, congratulations to Carson Terrell. That's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Moving on, playing at a higher caliber, and having that opportunity. I know it's a wonderful thing, and he should appreciate it. It's a whole different regiment.
Yeah, if you get a chance, go down. It's Saturday afternoon for college football. That's when they play. So if you get a chance, go down there and watch them. You'll be surprised if you're not familiar with the talent level.
Absolutely.
And the level of play that they have at Division II schools.
Well, back to basketball for briefly. Coach Ross becomes the all-time winningest basketball coach last week.
Yeah.
And so now he added 2 more wins this week, made it 235 wins now. And I think you had a chance to catch up with him a little bit.
We did catch up with him, but you got to think about this accomplishment. That's a lot of wins, Jerry. You know, I don't care where you're at if you're just doing a third grade basketball team.
I think he's been the coach here 14 seasons.
14 years.
14 seasons, and I think there's going to be 10 or 11 of those seasons, including this one, that's going to be 15 wins and more.
That's tremendous.
Yeah,
that's tremendous, and that just goes to show you the consistency he's had.
Yes.
And every year, if you're a Knights basketball fan, which I am, you can count on something good happening on the basketball floor. You're not going to win every sectional or go to regionals all the time, but you're going to be competitive.
And that's all you want to be.
That's
if
what
you can be competitive, you have a chance to win a game.
That's exactly right. So before we go to Brent with that interview, we're going to close with that. But just to remind everybody, the boys have 2 games this week. One Thursday night at home. That'll be on the Knights Broadcasting Network, 6 o'clock JV tip. And Saturday they'll be home to Jay County. That's a makeup game or an add-on game.
It's an add-on game.
And so that'll be a noontime JV tip. We're not sure about the broadcast yet. We'll let everybody know on the Facebook Northeastern Livestream page. So this is going to be good night for us.
Yeah.
We're going to go see Brent and see what he has to say. Usually Brent has a lot to say, and we like to listen to him. So
Brent likes to say it.
He likes to say it. So
well, for Rick Fletcher, and I'm Jerry Middleton, and we're going to hear from Coach Ross. And again, thanks for joining us on Knightline Live, Knights Broadcasting Network, and Two Old Guys Production, and Steve.
I'm here with Coach Brent Ross. Brent, how are you tonight?
Good.
Good. All right, so recently a milestone happened. You broke the record, 233 wins, 14 years. So give me your thoughts and emotions on that record right there.
Well, the great thing is I didn't really know until Tom got there. I knew I was close coming into the year. I think you guys brought it up on the pre-show, the preseason show, but it's not one of the things that we think about, records, things like that. This program's not about that. We try to really enforce that with the kids. It's not about individuals breaking records or coaches or whatever else. It's about the team concept, coming together as one and going for championships and doing it together. These kids are always, all year long, they're fighting for an unknown. They want to win a state, they want to win a conference. You never know if they're going to do it or not, but that's the main focus all year long is to do those kind of things and come together as a group and a family, and then they have lifetime memories. They're part of something. The one thing that we instilled as soon as we got here was making Northeastern a family from 1969 all the way until the future. You're part of something that's bigger than yourself, and I know Coach Baker's putting together the Winchester game. We're going to have the first ever basketball team come back, the 69-70 or 68-69 team, and get introduced and recognized, and that's what this is all in
Well, we'll make them all honorary members of Old Guys Production, okay?
Because Sunday morning basketball.
That's exactly. All right, so you, year in and year out, Brent, you guys, maybe you're not winning the sectional every year, but you're always got a team you put out there that's competitive whenever you get on the floor. What do you attribute that to?
Well, I think it's what we work on every day in practice and putting ourselves in a position. And I've had great coaches ever since I started. Like I mentioned before, Coach Baker and Coach Moore has been with me from the very start. This year, we've got Coach Beatty who's been with me over 10 years. Coach Everman's been with me 5 or 6. Coach Maurer, Kurt, and I always send a big shout out to Vanessa and Chris Curtis. He was a 9th grade basketball coach, high school coach. Talked him into taking over our 5th and 6th grade and elementary program, and they've done it since day one. I think that was the first call I made. When I got the position, it was because I needed to make sure that I had somebody at the elementary, doing the things that we need done to help develop these kids. And our junior high last night, 8th grade game. That team had always been really good for Union County. They played 8 kids. We played 12. And we're developing these kids in a way that, is kind of part of our system, because you never know, just like our JV out here tonight is playing at a level I haven't seen them play in a while. Yeah. And we're getting ready to play Lincoln for, going for our 21st or 22nd conference win in a row. And, that's what it's about.
Yeah. So let me ask you a little bit about this year's team. There's no superstar like Tyler Smith or guys you've had in the past, but this team seems to be coming together as a team, winning the grinders, I would say. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, we talk about it in practice and even after games as a coaching staff. This team, knock on wood, but this team doesn't beat itself. Last week we missed a few free throws and had a turnover that was kind of surprising late in the game, but we were still able to get the win. But, a lot of times, they don't beat themselves. They put themselves in a position, to win big basketball games. And, I think, we'd like to hope that we're going to get a shot at Eastern Hancock again early in the year. We didn't have Michael Henry. It was early in the year for us. They were a veteran ball club. We'd like to see where we've grown and where we come. So, and that would be a regional game or a semi-state game. So those would all be positives. So, the 3 losses we got, we put ourselves in a position to win a championship, and we just missed the shot at the buzzer and missed a few layups, bunnies early in that 4th quarter. But, the other 2 games, Greenfield Central's really good. They've only lost 1 game. And, in my opinion, they got one of the best point guards in the state. And then, of course, the other loss was to Eastern Hancock.
Well, hey, here's to the next 233. Maybe it won't take so long next time, huh?
Yeah.
We appreciate you coming by, Brent. Good luck for the rest of the year. Sectionals aren't that far away. We'll look forward to that. All right, that's Coach Brent Ross. He is the leader in the clubhouse with 233 victories for Northeastern High School. Back to you guys in the studio.